You want to know our number one question is, what if I get an erection?
Yeah.
What if I get an erection?
Great question.
Oh my God, what if I get an erection? I'm like, great. I mean, it's
It's a
fine.
bodily function.
It's fine. Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of Primary Care. I'm your host, Dr. Hendricks. This episode of Primary Care is sponsored by Regiette Health, more than just an ED treatment.
Welcome. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks. It's great to be here.
Yes, and it's our first time meeting each other, so I'm Dr. Tyler Hendricks. You can just call me Tyler.
All right.
This is the Primary Care Pod.
My name is Todd Gibbs, and I'm a co-director of Austin Naked Yoga and also manager for the Naked Yoga Camp coming up.
My question is, how did that come into your mind? How were you introduced to that? And what does that exactly entail?
I started going to the classes just as a student, and I really liked it. And the teacher, after about a year, he was organizing the group and teaching the classes.
Yeah.
After I'd been going for about a year, he decided he didn't want to do it anymore. He just wanted to move on.
Sure.
At the time, I was just a little Pilates instructor on the side teaching at Gold's Gym and little studios around town. So I didn't really have a business in Pilates. But eventually, when I opened up my own Pilates studio, I said, Austin Naked Yoga now has a home studio.
Yeah, incredible.
So we made space for them. We actually built out the studio so everything, we could hold classes without being exposed to the streets and the public and all that. So anyway, those classes are held all at Todd Pilates Studios, and they're just private classes. They're not on our schedule. We kind of stay under the radar.
Sure.
And some of my Pilates customers know about it, and a lot of them don't. They have no idea that after 6 o'clock Pilates, there's a 7:30 naked yoga class.
That's awesome. Very crazy. So how are things going now?
We have 3 naked yoga classes a week.
Sure.
And we average between 35 guys in each class, which is pretty full at the studio space that we have.
Sure.
So we're almost like at capacity. Of course, with yoga, you can just stick mats right beside each other. And I mean, we could probably get some more guys in there, but naked yoga is not the easiest sell in the world. There's people have a list of things they're so worried and concerned about before coming. It's almost like, okay, you're not ready.
Right.
I mean, if you're asking me 20 questions, like, because I remember when I found out, I didn't need to know anything. I'm going.
Right.
Sure. That was, and but yeah, some people take years to finally decide.
Yeah.
And we have so many people told us stories just like, this is my 4th time I've come to the studio, and this is the first time I've walked through the door.
Wow.
So they've come to the studio, they sat in their car.
Right.
So.
I've had sort of a weird idea around like nudism and embracing my nudity or my nude self, I guess.
Yeah.
I think now I'm much more comfortable in my own skin, and that's something that I feel like I would be able to do, but I've always wanted to do something like that. I don't know why. I've just always felt very free naked. I remember as a kid, me and all my cousins, we'd just get in the pool naked. My parents wouldn't care. I mean, we were super young.
Yeah.
But I just remember feeling super free in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, super young, had no idea what was going on, but just knew that when my clothes were off, it felt good to be in the pool, and it was nothing sexual or romantic about it at all. It was just freedom. I just feel like, too, we don't get much interaction naked, right? The only time you're naked with somebody is usually in intimacy, or someone that you don't, or that you are very close with and know a lot about already. So it's interesting how we view nudity as a society, and I always think of that because, I mean, we're all born naked, so there's, everybody's got the same parts for the most part.
Yeah. And
why do we reserve it so much? Why are we so afraid of it? Why are we so against it when ultimately we're all also so curious about it? And that curiosity has to come from somewhere. And it's not all sexual. I know a lot of people want to just throw it into this bin of like nudity is sex, but there's so much more that you can engage with someone and connect with people in that environment. I'm sure there's people out there who think I'm crazy for saying this stuff.
No, I mean, but you are right. A lot of people equate nudity to sexual situations because basically that's the only time they're naked with other people.
Right.
But at first, if you're not used to being naked around other people, it might be a little bit of a turn on. It could be,
right.
because you're not used to it.
Right.
But you get used to it.
Right.
And trust me though, it doesn't take away from the enjoyment of being naked with someone in a sexual situation. Sure. It doesn't take away from that.
Right.
You just learn that they're not the same. It doesn't have to be. They don't have to. You can do both.
Right. Exactly.
But for a lot of guys, they just can't imagine being naked around a bunch of other guys without it turning into some sort of orgy. They just don't understand how that could happen.
Sounds like a self-control issue they may need to work on.
or they just don't think men are capable of that.
Right, for sure.
And we are, Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that there's never, people always ask us, you want to know our number one question is, what if I get an erection?
Yeah.
What if I get an erection?
Great question.
Oh my God, what if I get an erection? I'm like, great. It's
it's a
fine.
bodily function.
It's fine. Yeah.
Yes.
Do
you see a lot of interpersonal friendships developing in this setting? Because I'm sure people from all walks of life meet each other, find commonalities.
Lifelong friends.
Yeah.
You do. You get closer a lot faster than you might otherwise.
Yeah.
Because you've let down your guard and you're just you.
Yeah.
So yes, we make, really close, lifelong friends between Austin Naked Yoga and Naked Yoga Camp. In fact, my partner and I met at a Naked Yoga class. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Was it here in Austin?
Yeah. Yeah.
Incredible.
So yeah. And neither one of us are like naked everywhere we go or anything like that. But we that's where we met, and
Sure.
we had that common ground. So anyway.
Have you ever had a poor experience with people coming into your studio?
Sure. Yeah.
And what is that? Do they usually just leave, or do they how does that possibly go?
Sometimes people will come to class expecting for it to all end up into a big sexual situation.
Gotcha.
and it might not be it's not happening,
right?
But they may be very disappointed that
Sure.
it's not happening, or
Gotcha.
maybe they're being a little inappropriate with someone,
Right.
flirting too much or coming on too strong. Hey, it's just a yoga class.
Right.
It's okay to make friends and go
Yes.
have coffee and all that, but don't be
Intrusive.
predator like,
Right.
in our classes.
Right.
The thing is that now there's enough guys, they're veterans, there's this overall general positive peer pressure.
Yeah.
If somebody like that kind of comes along, they get re-educated pretty quick.
Good.
They're going up against a strong force
Right.
of guys who respect what we're doing.
Yeah.
and love what we're doing and don't want any part of that kind of. So it happens, but on rare occasions, and when it does, boy, it gets pushed out real fast. I don't
Yeah.
have to do anything.
Wow.
Now, I've had to ban some people before, but I don't have to do that anymore. Like
good.
I said, there's enough strong members that's not gonna fly.
Right. So if my partner and I had decided to come to, one of your classes,
Yeah.
so we could expect that there's going to be some veterans there that'll kind of be making sure we're comfortable and making sure we're okay, or is it more kind of new people, you just kind of figure yourself out and...
Well, we try not to treat you too much different,
Yeah,
because
for
we don't
sure.
want you to feel like,
Right.
oh my God, they're paying way too much attention to me.
Yeah.
So when a new person comes in, I'm usually at the desk, and we have a person that checks everybody in, but I'm just kind of hanging out. So if somebody new comes in, I can guide them into the studio.
Sure.
So we show them where to put their shoes, and then we take them around, and it's kind of funny because a lot of times, when they walk around the corner, I'm like, there's gonna be a bunch of naked guys over around the corner here, and they're just like, damn, it's like they knew that's what was coming, but it's just a little bit like
3, 2, 1.
Yeah. So I'll show them where, hey, you can set up your mat here or here or here. I teach right here. There's the water cooler. The restrooms are in the back. Let me know if you need anything. Make yourself at home. And most of the time, that's all they need to do.
Gotcha.
And then you do have the social butterflies in our group. They'll go over and introduce themselves. They'll say hello. They'll invite them, over to Pine House Pizza afterwards.
Gotcha. That's cool.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
We
No.
have the social butter.
That's good.
Yeah. And we're always like, no, we're not going.
Yeah.
But we've been working all day,
Right, we're over it.
But anyway, a lot of
That's cool.
Yeah, the veterans they do step in and make them feel welcome
That's
too.
Good. That's cool. Yeah, because I mean, I've never even, I've thought of it. I've looked it up before. I'm very weird. I feel I always am looking into these things that I find online, or just kind of curious about, especially things in the queer community. I feel like we have a huge opportunity to get to try a lot of things because we tend to just be more open-minded. And
that's right.
And yeah, so I think my partner and I would probably like it. I think it would be interesting. If anything, we would go one time and see what it was like, and either have a great thing to talk about for many, many months, or decide to come back. I don't know.
I mean, and that's either situation is great.
At least opening your perspective to it.
We have some people, it's like, hey, it's just on my bucket list. I ain't ever coming back again, I did it, and and it was fun, but that's it, And then you have other people that are like, I have found a place where I can do yoga.
Hey folks, my podcast Primary Care is sponsored by Rougiette Ready, the latest pharmaceutical advancement in erectile dysfunction. This is a sublingual compounded treatment using 3 ingredients, sildenafil, tadalafil, and apomorphine, and it works up to 5 times faster than pills and chewables. We give you a promo code Primary Care for 20% off your first order and free shipping. Now, let's get back to the content.
So I will say this, is like once you've done yoga naked and you've done a class where you're all sweaty and you haven't had to deal with a shirt and shorts and stuff binding you, you're like, this is kind of cool, So you might, I mean, I don't know. Around Austin, though, the guys can wear nothing if they want to anyway.
Sure. Right.
I mean, they're down to just usually a little pair of shorts.
Right. And that's that's why it wouldn't be too different. When we've gone to yoga, we pretty much are wearing a little pair of shorts. So
Right. So you just,
Yeah.
So.
I find it that for us, I think it would be a really unique experience just to feel free and vulnerable, but in a sense that you're still in control of the situation, and you're vulnerable because we're taught that being naked means you're vulnerable. And that's actually something, in my opinion, that is traumatic. You're not vulnerable just because you're naked, and you can find strength and confidence in being naked, no matter what you look like.
For sure.
And so this seems like a great sort of way to introduce yourself to that sort of concept and learn to be more comfortable in your appearance and your body, and really being around people. You can take away all of the brands of the clothes and who they are by what they're wearing, and just see them and find that, maybe you do get to talk a little bit or build connections there, but it's just based on you two talking. There's no preconceived notion of, we have similar shoes, or, I don't like, because those are things we truly do pick up. When you see someone, I don't like that they're wearing this, so maybe we don't have that in common, or they're wearing this type of clothes. That's just human nature. You pick up what you see. And when it's just two humans butt naked, it's just the soul, and that's it. You can connect kind of just freely without any distractions.
You're right, and maybe one of the reasons why I like it so much too. I mean, a yoga camp, I've never seen so many guys in their 20s and 30s sign up for yoga camp. So
and that's coming up soon.
Yeah, that's coming up. Yeah.
And how many people typically get to attend the camp?
We have over 200 people signed up right now.
What?
So and we have more every day signing up. So yeah, it's a big event, and
that is incredible.
Yeah, and we have stuff going on all day long. We have 20 different yoga instructors, or not all of them are yoga instructors. Some of them are different type of practitioners that do different workshops and things that tie in, you know. And I mean, we have just straight up yoga classes, and that, just like any other yoga class you go to around town at yoga camp. But we also have other things that are a little more sexual based, so but they're therapeutic too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And these are professionals, that are leading them through like a tantric edging workshop.
Yeah, incredible.
So it's a 2-hour workshop. Like for me, I don't need to go somewhere for 2 hours and do that, Yeah. But some people love that, and it's. And I'm not saying I couldn't learn or benefit from that. It's just, but probably not.
Yeah,
but there's different things for people to do.
Exactly.
It depends on what you want to do. And
You know, it's interesting. I feel like we miss out, and I've talked about this recently too. We really miss out on educating young people about embracing their sexuality and learning their sexual health. I mean, it's such a weird taboo topic to consider teenagers and sex, right? How do you even approach it?
Yeah.
And so people get to their adulthood lives and they're like, well, what do I do? And what's available to me? And how can I learn? And then you're treated as if you are, you're almost like you're fetishized.
Maybe,
like,
yeah.
or you're someone who's into, things that are strange or abnormal for wanting to explore your sexuality. Definitely people, obviously, I'm sure in your experience to have given you kind of a side eye sometimes when you talk about things that you do that are considered less socially accepted, I guess, or however you want to phrase it. Sure. But I just think that we put so many restrictions on our sexuality and who we are and exploring, our bodies with each other too, and we put so much limits there that it causes a lot of confusion for people, I think, and they hold on to it for many years, especially if you're religious or if you are in a community that doesn't embrace you for being different. And so I think ultimately as humans we should do our best to try to learn everything that's out there, and you don't know whether you like something or not unless you try it. And I don't think you should try everything, but if something sparks an interest in you and you can learn from it and it's safe, I don't think there's a problem with that. I think we should be embracing opportunities like that and letting people build communities where they feel safe and feel able to express themselves as long as they're not hurting themselves or other people. It sounds like a great idea. It sounds like an opportunity for anyone to learn. So
it really is. Did you ever go to summer camp?
I did. Okay. Yeah.
Well, this is kind of like that.
That
only just a bunch of gay guys
naked,
and it's it's clothing optional,
right,
and most guys eventually they're naked most of the time, but at first they might not be, but it just becomes. But you do learn from a lot of people, like, oh, y'all do this, this happens. I mean, my eyes have popped a few times about,
for sure.
But you're there with, for 4 days, and it's overnight. We have lodging and bunkhouses and all this kind of stuff. So you can imagine all the things that can come into play, during that whole weekend. So it's a lot different than like our typical yoga class. It's therapy in a lot of ways because we're out in nature and it's healing, and we're going to workshops and classes, but we're also meeting a lot of people and interacting with them, and that, you do learn a lot from each other.
I didn't realize it was this like a full-on summer camp. This sounds incredible. I mean, I think there are probably a lot of people there getting to live sort of their childhood dream, because when I was in summer camp, that was my dream, like to be at a camp where everyone was just like me, and finally, exactly. I would see all my friends have their like camp relationship crushes with their, and I'm just over here with my, my soda, just hanging out.
It is. It's like a dream come true in a lot of ways. The yoga camp that we've set up. So
I'm all into this.
Yeah.
That definitely sounds like something I would love to be a part of.
So we have like 50 different workshops and classes over the 4 days, and we have an on-site chef, and all the meals are prepared on-site, and a big swimming pool, and there's what we call deluxe housing, but there's also bunkhouse available, and then a lot of people tent camp too. Sure. So there's a variety of things going on, and but most of all, people they'll develop relationships that will last forever,
just like summer camp,
or
pen pals.
Really, they really become close and connect on a deeper level than they might.
Awesome. I think it'd be nice to try something outside of the house naked. I mean, we skinny dip all the time, and we like to garden naked, but as far as like just watering the plants.
Well, you're on your way then. You're doing it. Yeah, you're doing it right. That's a lot of times we'll tell people, practice being naked at home.
Yeah, for sure.
And see that it's not a big deal. It doesn't have to turn into a sexual situation. You can get used to just being naked,
For sure. It's funny growing up as a kid, I know this is a long talk, but growing up as a kid, I was really ashamed to be naked. I don't know why. I would always wear a really big t-shirt, and I would like cover it over my knees when anyone was around. I don't know why. I think I just felt very uncomfortable in my body as a young kid, and just trying to figure out my sexuality, especially like, when you're preteen and you're kind of figuring out these things are different. But I still am fighting that. I want to be like so open and free with who I am and just embrace every aspect of myself. I think it makes me feel more free. I feel more loving. I feel more kind.
Yeah.
And so I think this is just that next milestone for me.
I know how you feel. I mean, I used to be that way too.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, there was a point in my life where I don't know, where did I become so self-conscious?
Yeah.
What happened? Somehow I started believing that I didn't, look good or whatever,
sure.
or...
Even this podcast is a part of my recovery of feeling self-conscious. My mom used to always talk about how when I was younger, I would like always grab a mic and was like in front of everybody talking. I wanted to be the weatherman. I wanted to be a celebrity.
Me too,
I wanted to be, I wanted to put on a show. And then I think puberty and, just kind of learning that you're so different than everyone else really, for me, put me in a box and made me feel like I'd lost my voice. And so I'm almost 33 now and finally starting to reclaim it. And I got plenty of life left to live. And if I want to act like I'm 20 forever, I'm going to do that and keep that confidence.
I mean, your story is so easy to identify with it. Because I was the same way when I hit my 30s. I'm like, that's it.
I'm over it.
I can't fight this anymore. I can't be any different than I am.
But you want to be yourself. You want to feel, at least for me, I want to love me. All those weird quirks that person who wants to go to naked yoga, let's see who that is and embrace him. And if it's not for me, I'll find out. But if it is for me, who cares what people think? If not, I'll just be evangelical for naked yoga.
Yeah.
If you would like to come back, I would love to have you. It's been a huge honor to have you come and talk to us.
Same here. I'm a big fan.
I'm a big fan too. I have always truly been interested in naked yoga, and he mentioned it, and I'm like, absolutely. I would love this opportunity to learn more, and so I'm really excited. And so for our people out there who want to find you, what's your Instagram handle, or how can they get in contact with you?
All right. Well, website, austinnakedyoga.com and nakedyogacamp.com. But if you go to one, they're interconnected.
Cool.
We're on Twitter under Austin Naked Yoga, where there is no censorship.
I know. Twitter is the Wild West right now.
I don't understand Instagram. I haven't quite figured it out because, I'm more careful now, but, sometimes it's like just one wrong picture and you're done.
Yep.
So...
Wow, my Twitter is I don't. It's so weird for you too. If you don't follow anyone on Twitter, because I usually just go to post stuff, Twitter just gives you what it thinks you want, and it gives me some crazy stuff.
Oh, there's no limits.
No limits. But yeah,
Twitter, but
cool. Well, yeah, I think people are definitely going to be interested in what you have to offer. I certainly am, and I look forward to giving them chapter 2 of our encounter together at one of your classes.
Add us on Instagram at Primary Care Pod. Catch up on past episodes and don't miss out on new ones. Subscribe to the podcast on YouTube, iTunes, and Spotify at Primary Care Pod.